This is my Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor 8 pay-per-view preview or internet pay-per-view preview. The pay-per-view is going to be streaming live tomorrow night on GoFightLive.tv. Now, if you have never checked out a Ring of Honor show before, if you've been hearing a lot of praise about Ring of Honor and you want to just check out the product of Ring of Honor and see if you like it, because I'm pretty sure if you're a fan of wrestling, you would like Ring of Honor. If you're not satisfied with what the mainstream wrestling promotions, WWE or TNA, is giving you nowadays, this is definitely worth going out your way to purchasing this pay-per-view. It's going to be on GoFightLive.tv, and it's only $14.95, which is pretty much 1/3 of what a WWE pay-per-view is, and about a little less than half of what a TNA pay-per-view is. And it will even have more of the action that you would get on those pay-per-views. You know, certain mainstream pay-per-views, and especially mainstream pay-per-views in general, you mostly, when you order them or when you want to check one out, and it's either, you know, TNA $35 or WWE $45, it's normally like 1 or 2 matches you're looking forward to, and that's like what the pay-per-view would be worth ordering it for. Now, this pay-per-view, on the other hand, is a stacked card. You got 3 matches, I would say, that are definitely going to be match of the year contenders. Definitely has the potential to be possibly even 4 matches could be up to that level of being great matches. And there's really nothing bad that's on this pay-per-view. You have a lot of good action on this pay-per-view. And for people that aren't familiar with Ring of Honor, you know, check this pay-per-view out. I'm sure you will enjoy it. It's only $15. Give it a chance if you've never seen the Ring of Honor product before, because even if you've checked out, you know, Ring of Honor on HDNet, that's just a little taste of what Ring of Honor is. It's not really the full, you know, full feeling of what Ring of Honor is. You really need to check out, you know, a show, one of their, you know, pay-per-views, internet pay-per-view like this, or one of their DVDs to get the, you know, full feeling of what Ring of Honor is. And this will definitely be one of the things to introduce you into Ring of Honor. Very good. Now, below in the description box, you'll see a lot of links where it will be hype videos for this pay-per-view, preview videos for the pay-per-view, hype videos for certain matches, and all that's going to be in the description box. And there's going to be something that Ring of Honor, they did an article on their website, a news article on their website saying what you need to know about every single match, which will definitely be something that people that aren't familiar with Ring of Honor need to check out. So that link will be down there as well. Now, the first match on this pay-per-view will be a tag team action, which will be Cheech and Cloudy versus Kenny King and Rhett Titus. Now, this should be a fun opener, a good tag match. And with this match, Cheech and Cloudy need to pick the victory up, and they will pick the victory up within this match. The next matchup will be the second annual Toronto Gauntlet match. This is a elimination-style match, 6-way, with Colt Cabana versus Steve Corino versus Eddie Edwards versus Roderick Strong versus Sean Daivari versus Tyson Dukes. And you got a lot of good people in here. What you're going to see in here, you're going to see even Steve Corino, that I don't really have never been a fan of Steve Corino as a wrestler, but he's good on the mic and he has a good character to him. And him being involved in this match will not hurt the match at all, because it will. You'll see within this match just what a little taste of what Kevin Steen and El Generico are going to do later to each other, because Colt Cabana and Steve Corino have been involved in that feud. Steve Corino has pretty much been the mouthpiece of Kevin Steen and the guy, you know, talking to him and telling him what to do. And Colt Cabana has been the friend of El Generico, and you'll see them probably go after each other a lot in this match. You'll see some good stuff with Eddie Edwards and Roderick Strong against each other in this match. And Sean Daivari and Tyson Dukes, they'll, you know, get showcased pretty well in this match. Now, the last 2 people in this match will most likely be Eddie Edwards and Roderick Strong, and it would almost seem like they would probably have Roderick Strong win this match, just because that seems like the way they would go with it. But I think he's been kind of given opportunities for the World Heavyweight title recently a number of times, where I think you'll need to give it to someone else, because within this match, the winner of this match gets a future shot at the ROH World Heavyweight Championship. So I'm saying Eddie Edwards will be the best person to win this match, and thinking that's the route they will go, is have Eddie Edwards win this match. It's definitely between Eddie Edwards and Roderick Strong, and I would say it's much better to give it to Eddie Edwards, since Roderick Strong's already had some opportunities, recently for the ROH World Heavyweight Championship, and Roderick Strong is like one of those, guys that's been in Ring of Honor for many years, but he's like one of those guys I have a feeling that he's never going to become Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion, even though he somewhat does deserve to be World Heavyweight Champion at some point within his Ring of Honor career. But it just seems like it's going to be one of those things that will never happen to him, and it's just he's had so many opportunities. I think you need to have someone else have an opportunity, and Eddie Edwards would be the perfect person to have that next opportunity for the ROH World Heavyweight Championship. Possibly even if they go the route of having Davey Richards win the World Heavyweight Championship on this pay-per-view, then you have Eddie Edwards and Davey Richards in a feud with each other for the ROH title, two the members of the American Wolves. The next match will be a grudge match, which will, within this grudge match, Kenny King and Rhett Titus are barred from ringside. This is Austin Aries versus Delirious. Now, this match right here, I don't think it's going to be anything like a great match, but I think it's going to have a good story behind it. It's going to have some good action in it as well. I have a feeling this match, Delirious will get his revenge on Austin Aries, and Delirious will pick the victory up in this match. And you'll probably see, even though they're barred from ringside, Kenny King and Rhett Titus will try to come out here and cost Delirious the match behind the referee's back or something like that. And it should be some good stuff in this match. It's going to be good action. You probably see, even though it's kind of a grudge match and, they both hate each other, with Delirious' character, you're obviously going to see some comedy in there as well. But more or less, it's going to be like the serious version of Delirious, where Delirious is going to want to go out there and just beat the living hell out of Austin Aries, and it'll just be a very entertaining match. It's not something I'm thinking is going to be a great match, but I think it's going to be a good match overall, I would say. And then the next matchup will be a Pick 6 series match. This will be Christopher Daniels versus Kenny Omega. This is the first time this match has ever taken place. The only time this match ever could have possibly taken place before in singles action is maybe in Japan, and it was. If it even took place over there, it would have been Kenny Omega versus Curryman, not Kenny Omega versus Christopher Daniels. So pretty sure this is the first encounter they are having ever with each other, and this should be a great match. This match right here and the next 3 matches all should be great matches. This match right here just should be an excellent match. Now, there's a number, I don't think it's going to be like the show stealer or anything like that, but this match could be a very good match. They get like 15, 20 minutes. Christopher Daniels and Kenny Omega can go out there and perform very good against each other. And Kenny Omega is going to be pretty much in the position where Tyler Black is now, or where Davey Richards is pretty much almost going to, where I would say within a year or so, you're going to see Kenny Omega in the main event and possibly even be the World Heavyweight Champion in Ring of Honor. That's the one thing that I always have to say about Ring of Honor is, even when Ring of Honor loses, certain guys to, the major companies of WWE and TNA, like when they lost Bryan Danielson and when they lost Nigel McGuinness, they always have someone they already are grooming for that next spot. They had Tyler Black and Davey Richards, and Kenny Omega is going to be that next guy that could possibly be groomed to be World Heavyweight Champion, and he's very over with the crowd. Now, his gimmick is one of those things that some people might think, the gimmick's a little too childish or something, and it's kind of a little too over the top in some ways, but it's a good character. He's a very good wrestler. And this should be a very good match with Kenny Omega and Christopher Daniels. Daniels is number 2 in the Pick 6 right now. I'm saying Kenny Omega will defeat Christopher Daniels, and this match become the new number 2 in the Pick 6 series. Next match will be a grudge match. This is one of the matches that I've been looking forward to for a long time. This is the grudge match against Kevin Steen versus El Generico. This match has been built up for almost 6 months, and this is the first time they're going against each other in singles action within this feud. It all started back in December of 2009 at Final Battle, where after the Young Bucks match that they had, Kevin Steen and El Generico had against the Young Bucks, then after that match you saw Kevin Steen turn on El Generico, and just Kevin Steen's been going into this crazy realm. Steve Corino is pretty much talking in his ear, telling him what to do, and it's just a very great heel character that Kevin Steen has right now. And El Generico is always that fan favorite that the fans are always going to be behind. So it's the classic villain versus the classic guy and that everyone just loves. So it's been booked very good. And I haven't seen the street fight that happened in Chicago back in April yet, since DVD just came out. But I've been hearing that match was something great. And this match right here, now, this isn't going to be the end of the feud. This is not going to be the end of the feud. This is the first singles meeting they're having against each other within this feud. So with that, Kevin Steen will pick the victory up in this grudge match against El Generico. Probably I'm saying it's going to end at the September 11th Ring of Honor show, where it'll probably be Glory by Honor, and it might be a Fight Without Honor, and that will be when the feud ends. They possibly will have another match in between that before they Fight Without Honor, but that's the way it will end. And this match is just going to be something great, and it's going to be something that this is the first time within 6 months this feud's been built up, and this is the first time they're in singles action, so it should be something great. Then the next matchup will be the ROH World Tag Team Championships match. This is a no disqualification match with the Kings of Wrestling defending the championships against the Briscoes. Now, this is a rematch, and this from the a rematch from the Big Bang match they had against each other, which is at this point in this year one of the best matches of this year, and a great tag match. And I was looking forward to this match just because that match was so good. I'm like, this match is going to be as good as that, possibly even better. And the no DQ stipulation is going to help it out even more. Now, going into this, you had back at Supercard of Honor 5 last month, you saw within that match, not that match, but at that event, you saw the Kings of Wrestling take on the Motor City Machine Guns. Briscoes came out there and interfered in that match, and then they hit the J Driller on Sarah Del Rey, adding more heat to the feud right here. And then just recently, I think this past Monday on Ring of Honor HDNet, they even furthered it even better, and this makes it even more exciting because the way they're going with the Briscoes promos are being even more crazy than what they normally are, where on HDNet they had Mike Briscoe, the father of Mark and Jay Briscoe. He was out in the crowd, and Chris Hero and Claudio Castagnoli were talking back to him, and he got over the guardrail, and then he got the elbow from Chris Hero, and they attacked him. Then the Briscoes came out there, and then just the Briscoes went in, some great promos where they're just going over the top in their promos, where they just want to kill the Kings of Wrestling for what they did there. So it just added fuel to the fire and made the match even more looking forward to seeing. It should be another great tag match with the Kings of Wrestling versus the Briscoes, especially with the no DQ stipulation within this match. And I'm saying that the Briscoes will probably pick up the victory and become the tag team champions in this match, because I'm saying with this Kings of Wrestling versus Briscoes feud, I'm thinking they're going to give the titles to the Briscoes on this pay-per-view. Then, whenever they take on each other again, the Kings of Wrestling will get the titles back, then have a tag feud where the titles, switch back and forth several times within the feud, which make it even better. And just it should be a great tag match. Should be as good as the Big Bang match, which in my opinion was the best match on that pay-per-view, or possibly could even be better. We'll just have to wait and see. Just should be a great tag match nonetheless, no matter what side wins. Next matchup will be the main event. This is for the ROH World Heavyweight Championship. This is Tyler Black versus Davey Richards. And this has been a world title match that most Ring of Honor fans have been waiting for a long time to see take place on a pay-per-view or just a Ring of Honor show in general. Davey Richards versus Tyler Black for the ROH World Heavyweight Championship. A singles match, main eventing this pay-per-view from Toronto, Canada. Should be a great match. This by far could be close to a 5-star match. It's definitely going to be a great match. Nonetheless, whoever wins this match. Now, I'm saying the best thing for them to do is probably have Tyler Black retain the title, and then have Davey Richards at some point later this year win the title at that point. Not at this pay-per-view, but if he does win, I won't have no problem with it. I'm a huge fan of Davey Richards, and Tyler Black, is a good wrestler as well. So either way, whichever one wins, it won't matter. It's just going to be a great match. And I know most fans are probably hoping Davey Richards wins. Now, I know about the rumor of Davey Richards saying that when his Ring of Honor contract's up and when his time's up in Ring of Honor, he's going to possibly retire from wrestling. Now, take that for what it is. It could just be him saying that and not being true, but we'll have to just wait and see. That could be just him saying something like that at this point. Possibly get a, better extension for his Ring of Honor contract, or possibly try something out in the mainstream companies of WWE or TNA. We'll just have to wait and see what that goes with. We'll find out more, 6 months down the line by the end of the year. And just this pay-per-view should just be a great pay-per-view. Like I said, if you aren't familiar with Ring of Honor and you haven't checked the Ring of Honor show out before, this is definitely the time that's worth checking out. Go to gofightlive.tv, order the pay-per-view. It's only $14.95, and it will be well worth your $15 to order this pay-per-view. Especially if you're not satisfied with the current product of WWE or the current product of TNA, and you want to see something different. Well, that's what you will see on this pay-per-view. You will see a pay-per-view that's going to be 3 hours of pretty much non-stop wrestling and great wrestling matches on here. Like I said, there's no bad match on this pay-per-view. There's 4 matches that are going to be in the category of possibly match of your candidates or great matches. And then, the other 3 matches on this pay-per-view, the Austin Aries and Delirious match, the way they've been building up has been pretty good. And I'll say it's going to be a good match. Then the tag match should be good with Cheech and Cloudy versus Kenny King and Rhett Titus. And the second annual Toronto Gauntlet should be something great as well. You should possibly see some great stuff in that match. So this pay-per-view, 7 matches on this card, a very stacked card. It's definitely well worth your money to go out and purchase it. If you haven't already purchased it on gofightlive.tv, go ahead and purchase it. The link will be in the description. Like I said earlier, there's going to be a lot of links in the description where it's going to inform you about, why is this match taking place and the backstory of it, and video packages, hype videos, and promos and stuff like that, building up to this pay-per-view and hyping the pay-per-view up. So I'll put all that stuff in the description for you to check out. For people that aren't too familiar with Ring of Honor, check that stuff out. You'll pretty much get into it and know what's going on the pay-per-view before you tune in and check it out tomorrow on gofightlive.tv. Well worth your money. Just go out, and I know I'm stressing a lot in this video and saying it a lot, but it's definitely going to be, trust me, it's going to be worth your money going out your way to purchase pay-per-view. You will not be disappointed. Yeah, that's it for my Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor 8 pay-per-view preview. Peace.